Okay, but how does the editor work? Let's begin by creating a new custom page. For that purpose, I'm going to click on the menu up in the left corner and choose Create New. Okay, so in here we have the structure of row, column, and component. So first things first, we need to add a row. Okay, so after you click on Add Row, you have the option to add a component which is automatically going to create the first column for you. But before we do that, let's explore the row settings. In here, on the right side of the screen, we have the layer menu. So if I click on row settings for this row right here, it's going to highlight it in orange yellow color. So if I click on row settings, I can now do some modifications on my row. For instance, let's say I want the row to take the full width of any screen. I just have to click on full width and then I can choose a minimal height, which is going to be relative for the resolution of the screen of the user who is viewing the site. Next, I can add a background color, or if I don't want to do that, I can add a background image. So it would look something like this. I can even add a background video from YouTube, but make sure the video that you're using is uploaded by you or is royalty free. Okay, so after you add an image, you can actually choose to have the parallax effect, which is going to scroll the background and the foreground of the row at different speed. So this would look something like this. If I choose this background image right here and choose parallax, and then I add a component, let's say I'm going to choose a custom component, and this is going to be hello to my website. Make this heading, make it bigger, and make it centered. Hello to my website, and let's make this white. Okay, add to page. Now you can see that if I, well, you cannot see it yet. If I add another row here, and let's say I want it to be full width, let's say I want some minimal height, and I want to add a background image, or let's choose the same image for now, and then we're going to change it. So if it's not parallax, you can see that the effect from my row above, the first row, is a little bit nicer. It allows me to scroll the text without scrolling the background. And if I want to concatenate those two images, which are the same, I can just click on parallax, and the MSB editor is going to realize that this is the same image and it should act as one whole image. Even further, let's say copy component, paste column. If I change this image but still use it as parallax, maybe add some more minimal height, I can actually get this really cool effect. I'm going to make it taller. I can get this really cool changing effect in the editor. Okay, so this is for the row settings. As I said, we are using a hierarchy of rows, columns, and components, which looks kind of like this. So we have this hello to my website component, which is positioned inside a column. And in here we have the text component. So if I click on the blue part of the screen, not the purple one, but the blue one, I'm going to go into the column settings. I can also access that from the column settings icon right here. In here, I can choose, let's start with size, which I think is the most important one. Now, if I choose this to be half the width of the screen, and then let's say I add some image. Let's add this positive man right here. Okay. So right now, when I'm on my desktop, this is going to always position, no matter the screen size, relatively the same. So it's going to look very similar on any resolution. Let's save this. First, I need to add a page title. Let's call this test. Save it. Now, when I save a new page, it's going to ask me if I want to add this page to the navigation. I'm going to choose yes. And then I'm going to click on go to site. In here, I'm going to add my email and my password and click on login. And in here, I have my test page. So let's click on that. And we have the cool parallax effect. We have the scroll into view animation. And if I simulate a smaller screen, I'm still getting the same dimensions. But if I go to a mobile device, which is vertically oriented device, you can see that my first column goes to on top of the image I have added. So we have automatic repositioning by using this grid system of rows and columns. Okay, so this image is a bit too large, so I'm going to click on the column settings right here and go to borders, and I'm going to add some horizontal spacing. I think this looks nicer, and save this like that. Okay, so let's say I want to add another column. I need to make one of the columns here smaller. Let's say I'm going to make this one a little bit smaller as well, and I'm going to add map for some reason. And this is going to be Sofia. Add to page. Okay, so if I save this and if I go to my preview, I can see that I have my columns again positioned in the way that they should be. But if I go to a vertically oriented device screen, again the columns are going to rearrange one under the other. Okay, but what if you don't want to get that effect? What if you want this picture and this map to be on the same row, even on a mobile device? Well, let's remove this. Now, if I click on the column settings and say add component, I'm going to add another component. Let's use the map again. Under my previous component, and I can click on the purple settings now, which is the component settings, and click on size, and then make this smaller, and then choose component settings again and make this one smaller. Then if I save this, when I go to my mobile device, I'm going to get them inside the same row. So you have to be a little bit careful with that functionality, because it might not look optimal, but in some cases it is going to be very, very useful. Okay, so let's remove all this nonsense. And let's say I want to, I'm actually going to save this, yes, and I'm going to add a form, contact form. I'm going to use it as it is, and I'm just going to add some margins. Okay, let's save this. Now, let's say you want to create a landing page for booking services or for your email lists, or using forms like this, and you don't need the header or the footer. Now, if you choose this page to be a partial, you don't really have much control over that. But if you choose it to be a regular custom page, you can choose to show the header or show the footer. So I can just cancel those two, click save, reload, and now I have my landing page. And again, this can be a product landing page, it can be a service landing page, a subscription landing page, it could be anything you want to be. Now, as we said in the beginning of this chapter, inside the main page, the home page, you can actually choose what to have in the body. So if I delete this section right here, I can add my test that I have created, that we created right now, and save this. And then when I go to my preview, I can see that my homepage now has this hello to my website body inside of it. I can even have multiple partials inside my homepage. So let's say I want to have my contact form right here, and I want to add the first section that we had that came with the template. I can do that as well. I can rearrange them, save that, go to site, And now we have the collage and we have the send message form. All right, so